All right, guys, Copper Cutlass here. Cheers. Enjoying a beer. It's Sunday fun day. I actually had both cars out today. I got a little motivated, and I went out with the Bonneville early in the morning to Harbor Freight, bought a couple tools. We'll touch on that later. I took the olds out today. I thought I had hurt the rear end the last time out at the track, so I hadn't driven it since that time. So it was actually my exhaust riding on the cross member. I'm used to setting up my exhaust on the ground, and when I set it up on the lift at work, my X-pipe flexes enough to where you can actually put it on the wrong hanger, because like an idiot, I didn't remove the original hanger out of place, and it was actually sitting up on the cross member. So let's touch on the subject of tools. So I actually really like Harbor Freight. I work on cars for a living, and I do collision repair. I do anywhere from small dings to big heavy wrecks, replacing frame rails, engine cradles, rear body panels, quarter panels, you name it. I've done it. And that's my bread and butter. I love what I do. I don't really share that with you guys much on YouTube, but if you guys follow me on Instagram, you'll see pictures of what I do. The main reason why I don't like to share what I do at work is because that's my professional realm. And I feel like in that field, there's a lot of people that are really good, that I consider better than me, that are putting out really, really good content, that honestly, if I can't put something out, and I wouldn't say that I can't do work as good as them, but their quality of production and videos, I just couldn't touch it. So reality is I'm sticking to the Oldsmobile shit because it's like a little niche market that I've been in for a while, as far as with the YouTube and in the hobby. I mean, this is the hobby with Oldsmobiles is all I've done. So if you guys want to follow somebody who's really, really good at auto body repairs, there's two guys, and it's two worlds of difference, and it's two different countries. So Blue Collar Kyle does amazing work. And if he follows stuff, he does the same style of work that I do, by the book, quality. And then there's Arthur Tusek, who's like in Russia or Lithuania, and he is like an artist. A lot of the repairs that he does are not per what we are by law allowed to do because of liability reasons. But either way, that's one of the big reasons why I don't really share a lot of my collision repair stuff. But when I do the Bonneville, I will share at least the cosmetic end of it, because the Bonneville is one of those things that is a lot of stuff that is relatable to probably a lot of my followers and people who are in the classic car hobby. You're not dealing with bent frame rails or, completely crushed up quarter panels or doing door skins or stuff like that. So either way, so again, Finnegan, start of the show. So at our shop, we've been doing a lot of aluminum repair lately, and you need to have separated tools. And my wife is laughing in the back. Tell us why you're laughing.
What the fuck is he doing?
I don't know. I'm sniffing out the window.
I'm sorry.
So
okay.
Either way, at our shop, especially this year, we've seen a huge influx of aluminum repairs. And to do it properly, you need to have isolated tools. And the reason for that is, if you guys know, there is a reality of working with steel and aluminum, and it's called galvanic corrosion. So you need to have separated tools. My wife is laughing at me because of the way that I pronounced it. Galvanic, how the fuck you want to say that? I'm from Chicago, so I pronounce things a whole different way. So we had a whole conversation about this earlier. So either way, I picked up a hammer and dolly set from Harbor Freight for $45, and I'm literally opening it up right now. Now, my apprentice tech at the shop bought the same kit, and it's actually really nice. I'll tell you guys, the first hammer and dolly combo set that I bought back in high school was not nearly this nice, but for $40, I mean, this is really nice stuff. For $45, you got an eyebrow hammer. So this is what I would consider an eyebrow hammer. when you guys got a crown, so let's call this a crown, you tap this down, and this is what this is for. It's for like crowns. Ava, come here. She's whining over there. You got hammers, dollies. You got a nice little set. Honestly, it's this is like a aluminum handle actually, resined into a steel head. This is super nice. And it actually tells you the ounces of the hammer. So maybe some of you guys who follow me are tradesmen. You know the importance of the balance of a hammer. I have different hammers, and it's the feel, the way of the so the feel of the hammer, the way that you swing, the way that you do things. I can tell you, and I've never held one of these hammers. I just bought this. My coworker, my apprentice, bought this same set, and I saw it, and I'm like, that's really nice. But outside of that, I didn't do anything. This is actually a fairly heavy hammer. I have, most of my hammers are actually snap-on. They're wooden hickory handles, which I really like. Not only because they look cool and they age really nice, but because of the weight. So this has like an aluminum handle with a rubber. So Harbor Freight really wanted to give their buyers the best of the best. Now, unfortunately, this is a little heavy. It would take a little bit of experience to use this type of hammer, not Corona. And it would take a little bit of experience to work with this type of hammer and not overpower the dent or the crown or the crease or whatever you were doing. As far as dollies go, they're kind of foolproof. Usually you're using them to planish a dent, so you're always working on the back. You can almost use a rubber block for that stuff, so it doesn't really matter. But as far as the balance of the hammer goes, this is actually kind of heavy, and it's an 11-ounce hammer, and really, this is the first time I laid hands on it. But I actually have a fairly big aluminum job at the shop currently, and I decided to make the pop because right now I've been getting by at the shop with doing aluminum repairs by taping off and cleaning my tools. And the big reason is galvanic corrosion. So I've been getting by on that. And but it's time to have a dedicated set because it kills time to get everything ready. So that's the hammer and dolly set. Okay, so I guess I'll explain to you guys a couple of things. So this is your typical pick hammer. This is your standard bread and butter bodyman hammer, the pick hammer. It's got a nice little sharp end. It's got a shaped flat end, and usually you work this to work crowns out, and this is for more fine, heavier areas, depending on how you do your work. Again, a million ways to go about this by now. The industry has been around for over 100 years, and I've learned to respect a lot of people's approaches to work, and I have my own way of doing work. I'm not going to say it's correct. I don't think a lot of people can say it's wrong either. And here is my most favorite hammer, the shrinking hammer. And if you know how to use this one, this is a moneymaker. So the shrinking hammer can get you out of a lot of binds. So it's got a serration, looks like a waffle. And what it does is it pulls the metal together. If you overworked it and it's stretched out, the whole idea is that it'll bring it together. So if you overplanish the metal, it'll stretch it, and this will actually kind of shrink it in. So this is a really nice hammer to have. I have all of these tools in a different variation. Mainly like most of my hammers are actually snap-on. I'm sorry. I love snap-on tools. They're expensive, but there's a reason for that. And the older I get, the longer I've been in the industry, I'm still a big snap-on fanatic. Although I buy from Matco, Cornwell. Snap-on and Matco are both my favorites. I choose them too over anything else. So now, we got that. And then, so let's open this one up. This is kind of more of a specialty deal. This is probably one that most of the hobbyists really won't see because I think most people that are doing restorations probably didn't do door skins. But this is a door skin hammer set, and this is actually the main one I'm going to be using on this job that I'm doing. I'm doing an F-150. I'm doing a door skin. I've never done an aluminum door skin. It's a first for me, and I decided to just bite the bullet and go for it. So this is a door skin hammer. So what happens is when you do a door skin, you have to fold the hem over. My wife can take a picture. I did door skins on the Cutlass, or not take a picture, but she can show you. So what happens is when you replace the door skin, you're replacing just the outer portion of the door. You're not doing anything with the inner. You have to fold the hem over the door frame. These are the two main tools you're going to use for that job. The heel dolly and your door skin dolly or hammer. And so what happens is this is shaped just to the point where when you strike it, you fold that hem over and then you finish it with the flat part of that. And the whole idea is that when you fold that hem, you don't distort the metal. Unfortunately, these steel dollies for most new cars are just a little too much. What I actually use is a rubber sanding block, the same sanding block that you buy at your hardware store with the 3M stamped on it that you use for wood finishing. That's actually what I use for a rubber dolly to do door skins. Whether it mainly for steel, we're gonna find out on aluminum tomorrow. Most of the job is done already. I left the door skin for the last part. But another special part here, so I'll show you the other part. I actually don't know the proper name for this dolly, but this is another good one. It's got a couple of good shapes. You got a nice radius curve here. It's round. It's got a lot of flat surfaces. This is a really good dolly for shaping. So this is also, these two dollies in the shop are probably the two that I use the most. And actually, I'm very impressed with these two dollies. They're very heavy. They're really nice, a nice solid feel. I know dollies might not be like the most over technical tool to own, but by far these will be the two heaviest I got in my toolbox. So, and they might be overkill for aluminum. I might stick with my rubber. And this is a slapping spoon. So, what is my wife's laughing at me over here? What's that for?
Oh, pancakes?
Pancakes for what?
Oh, it's like a pancake special, but anyway.
Okay, so this is actually a slapping spoon. You can use this for a lot of things in the shop. So depending on how you're going to do metal work, you can actually use this almost like a hammer to slap things, or you can actually use this to planish metal, or you can actually use this too for if your door gaps aren't good, you can actually stick this inside of the door and force one or the other to bring one out, you know, whichever way you need when you're doing your metal work. So this one's actually a little thick. The really good ones are thin, but this is good for like this is actually like a nice weight for a slapping spoon. Slap your wife in the ass. Sorry, babe. So either way, yeah. So that's that. Yeah. For the price, Harbor Freight knocked it out of the ballpark on these. I don't know about durability. Other guys can chime in, but for me, I bought these for aluminum repair, and these are going to be very limited use, and they're going to be only for aluminum. So the only way I can get money out of those jobs is to buy tools that are affordable, keep the price down, and not spend a lot of money. So, and then, actually, I'm a big fan of this sander. I had one before, and I hope this one works out as good as the last one because I love telling this story. So, let's go back to about 2009. Second body shop I worked at. I actually never had one of these sanders. So, I needed one because I was going to be doing a lot of prep work there. So, I went out to Harbor Freight and I bought this same exact sander for 50 bucks. I actually got this on sale for 35. And it got me through that shop. Then it got me through Lexus until I finally decided to buy a Snap-on one. Now, this little sander is just a DA sander, palm sander, whatever you want to call it. It's pretty bare bones. The only reason this trigger broke on me, so I kind of ghetto made mine work. And believe it or not, I got like 8 years out of this sander until finally it got to the point where I couldn't patch it up anymore. I had to throw it away. One of my apprentices broke it, so I had to let it go. Panda. So, uh, I bought this because you know what? I know that Harbor Freight has their higher end line, but I had good success with this particular style of sander. It's got the nice rubber boot, and this is again only going to be for aluminum. You want to separate your aluminum tools from your steel tools. As far as a grinder goes, I have a 90-degree Matco grinder that I haven't used in years that I am cleaning up, and it's going to be strictly for aluminum, and those are going to be my basic tools for aluminum. And so I just wanted to kind of talk to you guys about when you should buy economy tools versus good tools. And I guess for the hobbyist, like, it's Harbor Freight is really appealing, but you also have to really be careful. And their prices are so cheap to where, like, you should just buy their high end stuff if you're going to use it all the time. Because okay, so they claim that their Icon line is as good as Snap On, but I'll put $200 against their Icon quarter-inch ratchet versus my Snap On quarter-inch ratchet. That is not the same. The quarter-inch ratchet from Snap On is smoother, it's quieter, it's got a nice feel to it, and I've had their Icon. It's just not there. But there are certain tools that just work out really good. So I figured I'd make this little video to just kind of talk to you guys about tools and the importance of spending in the right spot. And it's also at your discretion, but these are actually tools that I bought that I thought like I'd show you guys. Like, I know I've shared pictures of I got a Snap-on triple bank with the hutch and the locker and all this shit. And I buy a lot of expensive tools, but for this particular end of the repair world, I decided to buy this stuff because it's going to be very limited use. And for me to actually get my money's worth out of these tools, I would have probably spent close to about $500 to $600 on all of these tools had I bought them from like Snap-on or Matco, and I only actually spent about $150 on these tools. So for me to get that money out and say that it's worth that investment, it's not, because in the last 6 months we've seen a lot of aluminum repair, but it might be only like 2 cars a month. So you have to, as far as a technician, you have to kind of figure out where your profit's going to be. And if you're only going to be using it for a little bit, well, once you see more of that use and you replace it, much like the DA from Harbor Freight that I bought, I ended up replacing it with a Snap-on DA, and I kept my old one as a backup until my apprentices killed it. But you know what? That DA got me around for a while, and it ended up being in my toolbox as a mainstay for about 8 years. So I just felt like that was a good video to share with you guys about tools and whatnot. So I don't know how you guys feel about Harbor Freight tools, but I've learned that professionally, there's a good and evil. I actually like to go to Harbor Freight and I buy all of their 1/8-inch double-ended drill bits, and their spot weld cutters are really, really good for $5. I buy a couple packs of them. I might spend $20. They get me through a job, and it's better than the expensive Blair tool cutters. So really, you got to pick and choose on what you want. Now, dang, somebody's out there getting wild. I live on a state route, so sometimes traffic gets rowdy around here. But either way, I figured that would be a really good topic to touch with you guys about tools and stuff. Now, obviously, you guys know I got my Husky toolbox. I got a lot of Craftsman tools in here, but I do bring in tools from work when I need reinforcements. But for the most part, I work with a lot of basic tools in here. I no longer have a welder like I used to. My buddy took his welder back. I plan on buying, I've been talking about it. I need to buy a multi-processor MIG and TIG. But either way, just something to share with you guys besides cars and thoughts and tools. And if you guys want to know about anything else that I use, let me know, because this is the first time I ever felt I needed to talk about tools. I was so impressed with the quality of this hammer set because my apprentice bought it in the last 2 weeks that I needed to go out and get it. And I thought it was a really good, just something really good to share with you guys. And I've had experience with this DA personally. So Hope that helps. Share, like, subscribe. Let me know how you feel about it. Comment. On the same end, let me know what you think. So, see you.